Boom. All right. Recording in progress. So let me see here. And let me make this part smaller. Let's see. All right. My screen. It's all good. Perfect. All right. Well, my name is Scott Kufus, and it's my privilege today to share with you about LEV AI. And so, no matter where you are in the world, you've heard about artificial intelligence, and LEV AI means leveraging AI, leveraging artificial intelligence. And today, it's my privilege to share with you about the vision of a company that's going to impact tens of millions of customers in a relatively short period of time. And over the next couple of years, tens of millions of people will hear about LEV AI. They could benefit as potential customers, candidates, affiliates, sharing the LEV AI story. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because the future is in your hands. I've been in the home-based business or direct selling relationship business for over 40 years. I'm 61 years old, and over that period of time, I've seen a lot of trends happen, from each decade. And so I saw a lot of interesting companies develop from ideas to go on and become multi-billion dollar entities. And certainly you've seen some of those things happen in your life as well. Over the last couple of decades, though, there's been some extraordinary advances in technology. And so, if you were just go back 30 years or so ago, the cell phone just began to sort of explode and make a big difference in the lives of people. 20 years ago, the internet popped up and started making a massive change in humanity, if you will. And we have all the social selling and social media that we have today. Cryptocurrency certainly made a major splash in the last decade. And now we're really in the AI revolution. And so what's interesting is not what's happened, but how you can leverage and profit on the future of what's happening, right? And so we want to make sure, let's see my presentation here. Uh, Oh my goodness, my screen. Let's see the webinar. Okay. The, hmm. Hold on a second. There we go. So you want to leverage these things too. So over the next couple of minutes, you're going to learn three things that will immediately improve your future, and millions of people will join us. And so that's what we're excited about. Is we're going to teach you how AI is having a profound impact on your life and the life of everyone you know. And it's not just a trend, it's just something that's going to drastically change the world. You're also going to learn how the marketplace is immediately using AI and how you should be using it for your own personal brand and your own building. And there's an unprecedented opportunity to create a profitability path. AI is having a massive impact right now in the world. The world's largest companies are spending billions of dollars to scale rapidly, whether it's Microsoft or Google or Meta, or obviously a company like NVIDIA that creates the chips that so much AI is built on. Every corporation is figuring out ways to be more profitable, more efficient, and they want to scale at a higher speed. So what if today we could show you how to do 5, 10, 20 times more output with less energy? And we could show you how to profit not only from that, but helping other people do the same thing. See, the greatest minds on earth are certainly in agreement on this, and that is AI is going to completely transform knowledge and society as we know it. It's going to be 10 times bigger than the Industrial Revolution and maybe 10 times faster, according to the head of DeepMind. And many other people realize it as the major shift in the economy. It sort of levels the playing field. And what's interesting is when multiple billionaires and multiple billion dollar and trillion dollar entities are saying the next 5 or 10 years will transform the planet as we know it, you have an opportunity to be at that table. And with Lev AI, we're going to make it really simple for all entrepreneurs to launch, market, and grow any of their businesses and be able to do it without a major agency or chief technical officer, chief marketing officer, technical skills, or anything. See, we've simplified all of this for people. We're going to create an irresistible offer. Right now, if you were to go out in the marketplace today, there are hundreds of various AI sites, hundreds of them. Some are focused on medical AI. Some might have to do with technology AI, maybe automotive AI. Maybe it's just marketing AI. But if you want pictures, you can do that. If you want videos, you can do that. If you want social media posting, you can do that. But there's just so many different sites and hundreds of potential subscriptions. So you don't want to be paying $20 here and 50 here and 100 here and 10 here and 30 here. It's confusing. They don't even all talk to each other. But what if it was possible for us to offer you the irresistible offer and for us to offer the marketplace, which is we're going to show people how they can come to one place and that they can utilize a dozen really efficient services specifically designed to their business and do it for the price of a cup of coffee a day. That's right, for $2 to $4 a day, instead of hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month and all sorts of crazy communication, we're going to show the entrepreneur, the solopreneur, the salesperson, the small business professional how to use AI. And what's exciting is there's hundreds of millions of small businesses in the world. There's 70 million freelancers in the United States alone. And what we're able to do is solve some really important problems. One of them is the fact that there's so many different tools, it's confusing. It intimidates people. And the majority of people out there don't need lots of things. They need to tell their story to more customers. They need to create more sales. They need more profit. They need to expand their market share, their brand. So what if we could show you how to improve your brand fivefold, tenfold, 20-fold, again, for the price of a cup of coffee every single day? Well, we're going to show you how to do that. We're going to show you how to generate leads for your custom business. We've created a solution that's focused on home-based business people. Now this is a really important distinction because you can't be everything to everyone. And it doesn't matter if there's hundreds of other AI services in the marketplace. It matters if you're able to take something that's so simple, apply it, and get results. And so what we've done is we've created a step-by-step process for you to implement really simple business solutions immediately. And here's how it will work. I'm going to run through those solutions for you and show you exactly how to implement them. First, your online presence and consistency. There's billions and billions of people on social media, a couple billion people on Facebook, a couple billion people on Instagram, billion people on TikTok, etc. All of these people are communicating. And one of the things they need to do is increase their reach. The future, your future value, your future brand is based on your connections. You know, we talk about relationship marketing, network marketing, the connectivity. You know, as you begin to get older over the next 4 or 5 years, your knowledge, your resume won't even be as important as your contact base. In fact, there's young kids out there with 10, 20, 30, 40,000 contacts. That's a very attractive employee. If you had a restaurant and you just hired people that had a bunch of contacts and you told them part of their job solution was to send out messages into the marketplace every week that you're working, come on in and try our food, you'd have way more customers. Your actual service people would generate customers for you. And the bigger the internet gets and the more connected you are to brand relevance, the more influence you have. We're going to show you how to do that with the AI tools. We're also going to teach you how to have a customer relationship. We're going to create an instant website build. Everybody out there knows of an idea or a thought or a website they want to build. They don't know how to do it. We have a solution that will get you a website today in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. The same day you sign up, we can get you an instant website. We can show you how to create funnel pages, capture pages, and generate leads for your business. Maybe it's for insurance. Maybe it's for real estate. Maybe you have a hair salon. You want to drive more customers. Or maybe you have a gym and you want to bring in more customers. You want to sell your workout services across the country. We're going to give people a one-stop solution. We have a reminder. You know, fortune's in the follow-up. What if we could teach you how to follow up with a calendar because AI did it for you and customized and scripted the follow-up, which is exciting. And we're going to add leads on top of it. Let's go through each one separately. So the AI solution, the social media presence is super important. When we're out in the marketplace, we want to tell our story efficiently. Over the last 4 or 5 months, I've had a lot of fun on social media. I realized for myself that I needed to expand my network. Now, I'm connected to tens of thousands of people online, but I wanted to learn something new. So I got out and played with TikTok. I got out and played with Instagram. I started playing with YouTube, recognizing the difference. What's exciting is the LEV AI solution allows you to create content within our community, our ecosystem, and then take that information and then serve it up to all of these different resources to improve our brand, to create interesting posts, to create interesting thumbnails, hashtags, and connectivity. You know, a lot of people don't realize there's a few subtle things that it takes to be successful at each unique niche. And I had to learn that myself. And I'm excited that we'll have a tool to walk the newest person. I could teach my mom, who's 84 years old, how to improve her brand if she cared, how to communicate to other people. See, my mom doesn't really care about communicating that way, but if she wanted to, it'd be super simple for her to get started and create a secondary income, engaging people with our content. We also have a way of not only engaging people in the content, but people can take their contacts, get a screenshot of the contacts, and LEV AI will create a profile for that person. They'll actually go online, they'll take a look at the interactions and the communications that that unique person has, and they'll make some suggestions on ways to communicate to your customers. Do you think that would be valuable? And the answer is, of course. If you wanted to highlight a certain set of people to talk to, and now we knew how to talk to each one of those people uniquely because of a communication style, because of AI is able to go out there, take a look at the web, take a look at their LinkedIn, look at their Facebook, take a look at the comments they make online, their personality, their interests, and then customize it. That's a powerful tool. On top of that, we're able to import that right into the database and then begin to communicate with it over and over and over again. You're just going to love that feature. Imagine communication that's customized to your voice and their listening. You know, the shortest distance between two people is a smile, but more important than speaking is listening. And if you're actually able to go out there and research every person and listen to the conversations they're sort of having, understanding what they talk about online, what their hot buttons are, you have a much better chance of connecting with that person and generating sales and profits for yourself. We also have the AI web builder, which I talked about. This is exciting because, you know, now it's possible for you to build a website immediately and create funnel pages that custom built for your particular business. I mean, I think everybody out there should have their own brand page that has your picture, your name, your resume, your interests, your goals, your contacts, things that you're fascinated with. Because if you had your information out there about yourself, other people could find you. If you just said, hey, contact me here, you'd be surprised. You'd end up with dozens, if not hundreds of people just reaching out on a monthly basis to connect with you. And of course, you could talk to them about your current business or about the LEV AI business I'll talk about here shortly. But we're going to be able to teach you how to build that website literally in minutes. You just answer a bunch of prompts and questions, and then you can adjust it, you can edit it, you can publish it, and you're up and going. You could build an entire side business just helping small businesses develop secondary websites with funnels. I mean, high school students could go out there, learn this technology, and just knock on the door of tons of businesses and say, could I set up a separate website? You know, capture pages, funnels, lead systems for your local business, sir. Probably charge them a monthly fee to manage it, and instantly LEV AI gets a customer and gets somebody to help them build that. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for people to build their own sort of mini agencies if they wanted to. In addition to that, it's important to follow up with people, know what to say. LEV AI is going to customize the follow up for you and remind you each day where things stand. We like to talk about 10 in play and 3 today. What does that mean? It says have 10 conversations on a daily basis and get 3 people to make a decision. So what happens is life gets busy, you get up and maybe you get a slow start that day. You don't actually begin to communicate with people. You get sidetracked, you don't feel good, get a bunch of calls come in, and you forget to follow up on the important contacts for the day. But with LEV AI, we can set up reminders so that you know that you want to get 3 decisions today, you know, 10 in play and 3 today, or whatever business it is you're building, you're in a position to follow up with people and ask them to get started. And if that wasn't enough, monthly leads. You know, there's a database of a couple billion people to talk to. With our pro package, which you'll hear about, you get monthly leads, up to 100 leads, customized to the specifications you're looking for. So this is added feature. I love this. This is the AI twin. Have you ever wanted to be in two places at one time? Well, we have the My AI video feature. So you're able to take your voice, your face, and you're able to answer questions for people in your voice, your face, with contact information. So you can now upload your personality into the system, and then there's scripts that can be developed that answer questions about your unique business or about the LEV AI business as well. In fact, you can interact immediately, no problem. So you can either use your face if you have a good looking face like Larry Lane here, or if maybe you don't want to use your face, maybe you're not very comfortable on camera, you can use a library of avatars to communicate with people on any subject you want. Can you imagine in real estate if you could set up Q&A where they're asking about a property and the Q&A is you answering the questions, but you don't have to be there at that time. The questions can be answered many times a day without your interaction and could be done so in multiple languages. And so that what's exciting is the video can be customized to you based on your script, or the AI can create scripts for you and help you with your message. So this is like your own AI twin, except your AI twin is able to speak multiple languages. We can take the same beautiful Larry Lane here, and instead of just speaking English like he might in Southern California, he could speak Hindi or Portuguese or Spanish or Thai or Chinese. It doesn't really matter. Your AI video could be in action speaking multiple languages. We do all those things for a basic price of $49 or a pro price of $99. Like I said, for the price of a cup of coffee a day. Really simple. What kind of value do you have to get back to recognize for only $50 you can completely transform your current business? You don't need to be confused about hundreds of AI sites or, gosh, how am I going to use this? Or just type away in Chat GPT asking curious questions. You can have a specific plan based on building your business as an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, a sales agent, a small business, and implementing a way for you to get more customers, more profit, and get it now. And so the person that invited you to the call today can send you a link to their custom page, and you can log in to the dashboard and sign up for free. You can get your own VIP free look to the system yourself. You can go in the back office. You can take a look at all the services I'm talking about, and you can look at the compensation plan. We have an interactive AI avatar. Now, this is for people out there that really have some content. Maybe you've been a speaker for a long time. Maybe you've been in sales. You have a lot of videos of yourself, recording things. Well, you can upload that into our system, and now it can really get exciting. You can literally have your own, double doing all sorts of things worldwide. Again, I said at the beginning, I've been in direct selling for over 40 years. I've built in dozens and dozens of countries around the world. I've been to all 50 states. And I can tell you, one of the things that's powerful about what we're launching is we've just made the world a lot smaller, because now it's possible for people to talk in any language. So I can speak in English, but I can be understood in Thai. I'm going to Thailand here soon. And so now I can go over there, I can share the LEV AI business, and everyone over there can hear it in Thai. Or I can jump the border over to Vietnam, they can hear it in Vietnamese. And if I wanted to send a message to my friends in Portugal, they can hear it in Portuguese. The exciting thing is your content, your personality, different voice. It makes the world a much smaller place. Unmatched value, as I said. It would take hundreds and hundreds of dollars to replace those subscriptions, and we can do it for $49 to $99 a month. Again, the price of a cup of coffee. Unmatched value. Now, when you have a business that has unmatched value, when you offer something at a price we're talking about, at a price anybody can afford, literally businesses explode. And I can tell you, over 20,000 people have joined us in the preview phase of our business the last 3 weeks. Now, let that sink in. We have such unmatched value that 20,000 people plus, I think it's almost up to 25,000 now, have said, yes, I want to learn more. This is incredible. I know lots of people that could use this. And when the 25,000 people get the opportunity to use our actual services, they can now start to talk to 4, 5, 10, 20 of their friends. We could have hundreds of thousands of candidates and customers over the course of the next 3 to 6 months, and certainly we'll have millions the next couple of years. Why? because the market opportunity is so massive. Right now, the gig economy is $500 billion plus. This includes things like Airbnb or Uber, DoorDash. There's all sorts of people out there working on Etsy and working on Amazon shipping. And, there's all sorts of little mini gigs, right? There are tens of millions of people making money on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. All of them, everyone I talk to wants to drive more business. And so they all know AI is going to help them. It's just a question of when are they going to be involved. If you have a cell phone, you will absolutely be using AI on a daily basis in the future. There's a gentleman by the name of Russell Brunson. He wrote The Funnel Concepts, and he has this book, which is awesome, Everything in 30 Days. And one of the fascinating things, he's built a multi-billion-dollar industry off of showing people how to build funnels to do one-to-many presentations to sell products and services worldwide. Multiple billion-dollar company, just in that one little teeny niche. That's just one of the services we offer. And that became a multi-billion-dollar enterprise for an individual. When there's 70 million freelancers out there, tens of millions of salespeople, and all sorts of people looking to have secondary income, the market's going to go from hundreds of billions to trillions, and you have a chance to profit on this. And here's the best part. You can get started right away with us. We have generous commissions. The first way you earn income is when we bring on happy customers. You get a 50% acquisition bonus when you bring on happy customers. So when you bring a customer on at $50, you earn $25. When you bring somebody on for $100, you earn $50. We pay that out each week. So you bring on some customers, already in this company. There are people that have engaged 20 people, 50 people, 100 people, 300 potential customers and candidates or more already, and we're only a few weeks old. Can you imagine how many customers the average person will be able to find once we go live? See, there's a lot of people that just want to try the services and get out there. They have a big list of people to talk to as soon as they can actually trial the services. We understand. For now, though, you can log in, you can get your back-end dashboard for free, you can get your seat right there the first day we go live, and you can get all the updates and all the communication. But when people stay on and they're happy customers the second month, you get paid a 20% commission again. There will be affiliates around the world that will have 1,000 customers, 2,000 customers, and they're going to get paid the first time, but they're going to get paid the next time and the next time and the next time. Just like you might have a Netflix subscription now, a Costco membership, an Amazon membership, a ChatGPT membership, you might be paying for your Dropbox. There are just so many subscriptions in the world. When you have something you need, you keep paying for it. And when people get satisfied results because their brand goes up, because they're making more money, they're going to be excited. Now, after 40 years of direct selling, I've sold, $1 billion plus in nutrition products and skincare and travel products. There's just so many different things out there. But the one thing I know that when people are happy, they order over and over again. But the vast majority of people don't buy products and services they need every single month. They sort of test them or they play with them. They might use them for a month or 2 months. But when you're talking about a business tool that's going to increase your profit every single month, people will stick with that. There's a reason people pay their telephone bill. They need to communicate with it. There's a reason people pay their utility bill, because they need the electricity. They're going to pay for their LEV AI subscription because they make more money. It's more profitable. And of course, if they're just bringing in a couple people a month, they're making profit anyway. It's really simple. There's all different ways to make money. There's 8 different ranks and a half a dozen different ways to make money. And again, you can get all this information in your back office when you sign up for free, after this particular presentation. In the second half of the presentation today, I'm going to go through the compensation plan, and I'm going to show you an onboarding strategy to be profitable right out of the gate, get off to a quick start, and make some money. I'm excited that the company not only makes sense, that billions of people are going to have to pay attention to AI and make some decision, that hundreds of millions of people will definitely start purchasing AI in the coming years. In fact, your timing is so good because The early adopters have been playing with AI over the last 4, 5, 6 years. And so it's just about last year, it really got a lot of traction as NVIDIA, the number one sort of chip supplier in the world's stock went through the roof. Every CEO of the trillion-dollar companies talks about the future and they start talking about how big things are. So it went from early adoption to awareness, which is happening right now. There's not a day that goes by you don't hear about AI, to acceptance. Acceptance is happening in 26 and 27. The next couple of years, hundreds upon hundreds of millions of people, maybe a billion plus people, will make a purchase associated with AI. They're going to choose AI services, they're going to choose AI subscriptions because they have to. It's going to be a necessity to communicate, a necessity, a skill set to survive. I don't care what job you're at. If you can maximize getting better at AI, you're going to be better at your job. You're going to be more valuable. The team members, if you have a team of people, you want to train your entire team to use AI because your entire team will be better. You want to teach everybody new to use AI because you're going to be better. And if you're not, your competition will be better. Our company was funded and partly founded by LaCour Enterprises. And LaCour Enterprises, I'm happy to report, I've known Terry LaCour and LaCour Enterprises for now about 30 years, a very, very good friend of mine. And I'm excited because Terry and his team has global experience. They've launched a dozen different direct selling companies all over the world, operating in almost 200 countries, all sorts of different currencies, all different languages, shipping products, shipping services, working with governments, working with legal entities. They're a well-oiled machine. And we have our own payment systems. We have our own marketing systems, our own tech teams. And with all that experience and global experience, and we have a global digital solution that can be delivered immediately, we're in the right place at the right time. You see, the foundation of our company has already done 7 billion in sales. And so when you have a product that can be delivered instantly, worldwide, where people can use it and have an impact instantly, they can be happy. They can be a satisfied customer on day one because they're building a website, they're learning something new, they're posting something on social media, they're customizing content, they're creating an AI twin. When people are happy, happy customers talk to more customers and they build things. So we're in the right place at the right time. And boy, are we lucky that we have our founder, Blake Schrader, who set this vision in place, said last year, after a couple decades of working in social commerce around the world, launching companies in multiple countries, speaking 3 languages, coming from a legal background as an attorney and really fully understanding, what it takes to build a solid business. His companies that he partnered with generated over $1 billion in sales, and he saw there was a niche. He saw there was a confusion, that there was a roll up about to happen. There were so many different services, but they weren't focused specifically on direct selling the way LEV AI is. And he says, if we didn't need everything, if we could just base everything down to a half a dozen or a dozen services at first, but we could get people to implement those services, they would be wildly successful at building their business. They'll tell more people and we can expand our tool suite from there. That's what Blake's done. And boy, just a few weeks ago, they had the first call to say, you know what? We're going to roll this out pretty soon. We need some people to begin to tell the story, to be a part of the preview stage. You're hearing about this during the preview stage. There's obviously billions of people on the planet. There's hundreds of millions of people looking to earn income. There's tens of billions of people wanting AI right now. They just don't know where to find it yet. But there's only thousands of people that have heard about LEV AI at this moment. And in the next couple weeks, we're going to launch the company and we'll be in pre-launch phase for a couple of months. We'll be in the implementation. During the first 90 days, we'll be rolling all of our services out. You can use them immediately, but we'll be scaling and adding things and improving things and growing the business so we can massively attack the marketplace in 2026 and 2027. You are in the right place at the right time with LEV AI, and now really is the time to start. So, our official launch is very, very soon. So I want you to get back together with the person that puts you on the line tonight, and they will actually share with you how to get started if you haven't done that already. So that concludes sort of the overview, if you will, of LEV AI. Your timing is perfect. The pricing is perfect. Now I'm going to share with you, if you want to stay on a little longer, about how to profit on the growth of AI worldwide. How can you profit on hundreds of millions of people choosing, AI services in the near future? How do we profit on the fact that a couple billion people in the next 5 or 10 years are going to choose AI services? Like, even if you know nothing about AI, how can you take advantage of that right now? Well, I'm about to share with you that in the next couple of minutes, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So let me just take a second here after 29 minutes and have a sip of some water. Hope you're enjoying it so far. Now here we are. So we just knocked out 29 minutes of fun, and you said, yep, there's definitely an opportunity here. For $50 or $100 a month, the marketplace is going to be massive. Now, how can you, wherever you are in the world, profit from the business? So let's talk about how to be plugged in, be turned on, be into daily action, be consistent, be curious, and be flexible. So first, be plugged into all the information. The company, when you get started, again, the person that puts you on the first part of the call can send you a link to sign up. You're going to get a back office. The next thing you want to recognize is you want to be plugged in. I suggest everybody go out there and get themselves a notebook. I like notebooks. I like to take notes. And I think you should get a brand new notebook. It says LEV AI on it, a notebook. It's clean. And you start to add to your knowledge base. So the first is company communication. By signing up, you're going to get company communication. You're going to get emails and text messages here. You're going to see things in the back office that you can read. You're going to have some tutorials in the back office you can learn from. So get the company information. Also, you want to get your team communication. So your team communication is who brought you in and who are they connected to. Make sure they connect you to a WhatsApp group or a Telegram group or a Facebook group. Now, later, I'll show you where those groups are located here online. But the fact of the matter is, your up team leader can connect you. So when we hang up, just go ahead and say, hey, can you add me to those groups? I'd like to be informed. Social communication. Make sure you're following the Facebook groups. Make sure you're following the information that's getting out there. Learn to ask questions. And then when you learn new things, put them in your notebook. And lastly, the back office communication will continue to grow. Think of it as a virtual library. It's like you have a syllabus when you go to college. Well, that's going to be the archives. Everything will be presented there. And on a weekly basis, we'll be providing information. So you pre-enroll, you sign up and get LEV AI, and you get your own customized page, no problem. We give you a back office that gives you all the reporting you're looking for, and it begins to inform you. And you can start to track your team, which is fabulous. By this time tonight, later tonight, there'll be another presentation. This is a day presentation. We do them at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time. At 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we'll have another presentation. We do this around the clock all over the world, so just take a look at your local timelines. But you have time between now and later tonight to put 5 or 10 people on the call. And all they have to do is hear the presentation, just like you might have heard the presentation a few minutes ago. I guarantee if you put 5 or 10 people on the call, you're going to get 2, 3, 4 people to say, yep, I want to raise my hand. I want to peek. I'd like a VIP access. I'd like to lean in. I'd like to see what's there. And now they're part of the infrastructure, and they're going to get the communication from the company. You can follow us on a number of different social sites. You could write this down. If you had a notepad, you can see where to find us out there. At Get LEV AI HQ or Get LEV AI, you can see across the board, depending on how you like to dissect and receive your information. My recommendation is you definitely stay plugged in for sure to the Facebook pages. Stay plugged in on the YouTube. You're going to want to get the videos of things. If you're on the Instagram page, you're probably going to see some fun little videos the company's created. You're going to see some ads and some marketing other people create. You're going to see some suggestions, some scripts, some posts, some thumbnails. If you're not a social media person, just by watching some of these things, you're going to learn a lot more. And then we have an amazing sizzle video It's fabulous. It's only a couple minutes long. I'm not going to play it now. You can go to YouTube and you can take a look at that. The point is, you can get a copy of that link. You could put a welcome email or a text to somebody saying, "Hey, Bob, hey, Judy, I just ran into the most amazing thing. Watch this sizzle video, watch this short video about a new AI company that can completely transform your business, give you more clients, give you more profitability, and you can get a VIP seat, when it's ready to launch here in the next couple of weeks." And it's all you have to do is have the little video and your link and send it off, and you can get people started with you. What's exciting is in the back office, we have multi-language support. So you can actually read the information. We have 10 languages right now. There's a drop-down menu. When you get there, you can look for the drop-down menu in the bottom right-hand corner. You can go from English or French or Thai, or Korean, Portuguese, Spanish, all these different languages. And you can now organize your back office in the language of your choice. We have all sorts of language transition for support. We have 40 different languages for platform user interface support, 30 different languages for written support. So we're providing right out of the gate, because we're backed by a national company, or a company that's been in business in countries all over the world. They know everybody has different needs, and that's exciting for us. So you had to be informed, right? You got to be turned on too. What has you motivated? Like, why are you doing this? What kind of income would you like to generate? If you go on YouTube right now and Facebook, TikTok, all these things, there are people making thousands of dollars a month. There are people making thousands of dollars a day. There are people making tens of thousands of dollars a day. I have many, many friends in social media that make extraordinary amounts of income. You don't have to worry about being them. And you don't have to have the next best recipe for sourdough. You don't have to have the next funniest video. You can just begin to be yourself and get paid to be yourself. But what you have to know is, what kind of income would you like to earn? Like, if you could earn an extra 500 or 1,000 or 5,000 a month, what number motivates you? And do you realize the only difference between the number that you want and the reality of you receiving the income is the customer base behind it? So it's all about new candidates. Randy likes to talk about the flow of new candidate applications. Well, that's about it. So high exposures means high potential candidates, which is high customers. High customers means revenue, which means profits. So the better you get at exposing the story, at sharing the story, the more revenue you're going to earn. But it has to start with, what's enough for you? Like, I have 2 kids now in college, and so that's motivating. I would love to be able to have the extra money to get them through college quicker, more efficient, at a higher level, maybe really more comfortable. They obviously know they compile some debt along the way. I want to give them motivation to accomplish some things. Maybe you want some security for yourself. Maybe you want a new home, or just pay off some debt. Our country has a lot of debt right now. All the countries of the world, people worry about debt, and they're looking for savings and security. Well, what's worth your time? Write it down in that notebook I'm talking about. And do you see the timing? Because it's one thing to be motivated, but you have to realize we have a moment in time here. This AI, revolution, sort of this blue ocean, the sun rising, is not going to be rising forever. Over the next couple of years, the sun will rise and it will get higher and higher in the sky. And eventually, the money, the massive amount of money in the AI, the sun will set. Over the next 5, 6, 7 years, massive wealth, trillions and trillions of dollars will change hands and be, impacted because of AI. And you have a chance to get your piece of the AI revolution. And it's not a bad thing to make an extraordinary amount of money in the next couple of years if you work hard and have a chance to invest it in other things, right? So you have to decide for yourself what turns you on. And then now you want to get out there and you want to get excited about it and you want to consume information. So the other thing is exciting is you want to get in action. So when you get started, don't just be motivated to use the services. Like, we can use your photo. Here's me just sitting around a computer. I like fishing. I like being on a river. I like being on a lake. I believe in having a view. I operate better if I have a view. I have a better mind if I have a view. I don't know about you, but that's me. That's my personality. So I'll be able to use my personality and put it in action. We have a number of tools. You can have your AI twin, get it to action, create a new video for yourself, improve your communication, your follow-up. The point is, use the services so you have a story right away. And the sooner you have a story, the more enthusiasm you're going to have to tell the story. Happy customers create happy customers. You want to be your first happy customer. You want to have a number of personal happy customers. So you can say, gosh, I just joined this LEV AI. In the first week, I was able to use the services and accomplish this, this, and this. I'm able to post more things online more efficiently. I was able to attract some leads for the very first time through a funnel. I've never done that before. It created some great scripts that I found really surprising that I used, that I was able to accomplish and get some more customers. This thing's really making me money, and I brought on 4 or 5 people and made a few $100s. You know what's exciting is you can use the services and tell your story, and even if you don't want your face involved, you can still use the services and use your AI avatar to tell the story. Be in daily action, purposeful and balanced. See, we need to be in the conversation business. If you're going to be successful, be in daily action, daily method of operation. And we're in the conversation business. Business is conversations. If you're not having conversations, you're not doing business. It's not a very complicated business model. But if you're quiet and you're super shy, there's an old book that said, a skinny sale or timid salesmen have skinny kids, right? So if you're too shy, you don't want to talk, it's hard to make a sale. So the best thing is to learn how to create conversations. You can do that on Facebook. You can go into your lists and you could just see the birthdays on Facebook. And today there was like 9 birthdays, and I can say, happy birthday, Harry. Man, we haven't chatted in 6 months. Let's catch up this week. You're looking great. Happy birthday, Tina. Man, it looks like you're having fun. Your grandkids are really growing. Man, we need to catch up. I'd love to know what you're doing. If I can help you in any way, let me know. You send another message to someone, hey, Joan, we haven't talked to each other in 20 years. What the heck's going on with you? What's your profession nowadays? Let's catch up and laugh. Maybe we can help each other. Like, it doesn't really matter. Just reach out, start conversations. Or if you know people are in sales, say, hey, how are you using AI in your business these days? I've run across a very simple, outstanding tool, suite of tools, AI tools, that I think would help anyone in sales. Would you be open to exploring it with me? Or just, hey, how are you using AI these days? Let's have a conversation. If you just open with that, you're going to have a lot of people lean in. You can look at your Facebook list, your phone list. You have hundreds of conversations you had 6 months ago, a year ago. I know a lot of people have people on what we call chicken lists. These are the people you're afraid to talk to. But the fact is, they're happy to talk to you. Business is conversations. If you opened up a restaurant, you'd want your friends to come in and know you had a restaurant to buy your tacos. It's Taco Tuesday. If they don't know you have food, they don't have a restaurant, how are they going to do some business with you? If you're in the AI business, and literally 7 out of 10 people that are online right now are curious and trying and playing with AI, they should know you're in the AI business. You're in the AI business. Let people know, hey, I'm in the AI business. If you have any questions at all or you're curious about things, reach out to me. Start a dialogue. Business is conversations. Be consistent and accelerate your learning. So 10 in play and 3 today. Talk to 10 people, send out 10 messages minimum. Get up in the morning, have your toast, your coffee, your tea, whatever it is you like, your mushroom, shake. The bottom line is, if you'll introduce 10 people today, ask 3 of those people to make a decision. 10 in play and 3 today. Make a decision and say, hey, how did you like what you just saw? So you just introduce yourself. How are you using AI? Watch this short sizzle video. Watch one of the presentations like I just did. Watch a 20 or 30 minute interview, or hey, get your VIP free look. Just log in, sign up in the business, and when things go live, you'll be one of the first on the planet to use it. The point is, do that. Takes maybe 2 minutes tops to send 10 messages out in the marketplace, and then just wait to see what happens. Get 3 or 4 people to make a decision today. Be bold, ask questions, and listen, and repetition over time. It's just all of this business and direct selling is just like learning an instrument. You start off, you have no idea what the key of C is, the key of G is, the key of E is. You don't understand minors and majors. You don't realize the vast majority of songs are actually created with 3 or 4 different notes. That's it, just strung together. You could have thousands of songs if you just know 4 notes. It's repetition. But in a matter of 30 minutes, you could play a couple songs actually on a guitar. And if you actually played for 30 minutes for a week or 2 weeks, you all of a sudden the notes sound pretty good. If you did it for a month, you can play a lot of songs. You feel comfortable. It seems sort of natural now. You get curious, and now you want to try more things and try more notes and get better. And then within a couple of months, it just seems like you can't believe you just picked up the guitar. Why? Repetition over time wins. Telling the LEV AI story is exactly the same way. Be consistent. We're just launching. We're in preview state. For the next couple of months, we'll be out there learning things together about how to more efficiently tell a story. The good news is there's unlimited people to talk to. There's billions of people that are saying, tell me something about AI. So your repetition will come very, very quickly. So the faster you accelerate your questions and your conversations, the more business you're going to generate. Be profitable. Create an immediate story. I talked about this. I like to talk about the high five club, which is 5 wide and 5 deep. You want to get out there and tell your story as quickly as possible. This week, make it a challenge if you haven't done this already. Be a member of the high five club. Get 5 frontline people personally enrolled. Why? Because you want to be in action. You want to duplicate yourself. So, 5. And you want to build 5 deep. So the goal is you go get 5 and you help go get 5 different levels down from you, second, third, fourth, fifth. And you want that to happen in all the different lines. It's very simple. So 5 wide, 5 deep. Why? Because when you start going wide, you're going to make a few $100s. You're profitable. You have a story. When you go deep, you're duplicating. So now you're leveraging yourself. Leverage AI, right? So you want a story like, wow, I already got in 5 people and I'm 3 or 4 or 5 levels deep after 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depending on your activity level. And then have 20/20 vision, 20 wide and 5 deep. Why do you want to have 20 wide and 5 deep? Because you'll be more profitable. And when you go 20 wide and 5 deep, you have security. You definitely know you're going to have 5 or 6 or 7 people go wild. And now you're going to have some choices to make. If you go 20 wide and you duplicate that, imagine you go 20 wide and you had 5 people that go 20 wide just like you. That's 100 different affiliates on your second level telling the AI story. It's extraordinary. So what business in your mind, when I think of your business mind, when I think of your mind itself, I think, what's the model you hold? Imagine building a small team of people with 5 frontline active affiliates who each have 5. So 5, you get 25. You have 30 people. They have 10 customers. That's 300 customers. Instead of thinking about having one affiliate below you, consider thinking that the active affiliates will have $500 to $1,000 in customer volume over time, every single month. So now in this example, you'd have 30 people that might be generating $500 to $1,000 in business, or as you can see, which would be $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month in business. That all came from your high five club. You help 5 people get 5 who get 10 customers. There are people in this company right now that have signed up 20 people, 50 people, 100 people, hundreds of people. We're only a couple of weeks into telling the story. There will be people in the future with thousands of people. But you need to consider, how big of a business do you need to build to generate 5,000, 10,000 in sales? That's important because as you go up in rank, you're going to want to have individuals generating a minimum of 1,000 in sales, or 2,500 in sales, 5,000 in sales. So as you can see here, as the ranks go from 250 to 500, 1,000, etc., you're going to want to have more different people that are active. Now, this is really simple. I mean, fortunately for all of you, it's very quick. There's many of you that can bounce right up through the compensation plan and become, obviously an advanced partner with 2 people generating 500, 3 people doing 1,000. There will be people their very first month that go all the way to the top of the, compensation plan in their very first month. You don't have to worry about that, but the point is, it's very, very simple. So think about, you want to help your team generate sales. As you build a team, you have a holding tank. So your back office, you could bring in 10 people right away and you can sponsor and place them. You have 48 hours to move them. Now, right now, you can't move any, but right before we launch in a couple of weeks, you'll have a couple of days for you to move people and reward people that are taking action. So maybe you signed up 20 or 25 people, and maybe you want to move 5 or 10 of those people to help support the growth of others. Maybe for geography reasons, maybe because they're closer, maybe they know each other, maybe you just want to help support the people. The good news is you have a choice. So if you run a big campaign and you bring in 50 or 100 people, you can now begin to reward people for their activity. That all happens in your back office. Be curious to learn and flexible to change. Study AI. I'm constantly watching videos on YouTube. I'm constantly linking to things that I see on Instagram. I read slides. I'm fascinated with business leaders. If you just go follow the trilogy, I call it the $1 trillion companies. Go out there and go take a look at what happens with Meta, which is Facebook. Go take a look at what's going on with Microsoft, what goes on with companies like Tesla, Nvidia. You go look at the largest companies on earth and just go follow their CEO. Find out what the CEO is saying. You know, Mark Cuban, he just recently sold his stake in the Dallas Mavericks for a few $1 billion. Mark said that if he was talking to his teenagers and they're in their late teens and early 20s, he said if all they did at this moment in time was learn AI and they could learn how to implement AI in businesses, that they would create legacy wealth. He was like, that's the only thing they need to learn is how to take a small business and hook a business up to a half a dozen services so that the business runs on its own, that it's more efficient, and get a piece of the install and a piece of the ongoing management and maintenance. That's what he says. That's what Mark Cuban says. That's what we do at LEV AI. We're giving you a tool suite that allows any small business owner to be its own CMO, its own CTO. But if they don't want to, guess what? You can have them be a customer and coach them and work them through that. Maybe offer a fee or a monthly fee to manage and help them. The point is, there'll be millions of people involved in that implementation worldwide. And we at LEV AI will have the simple paint by numbers, step by step process to help be a part of the change. So study AI, be alert, study winning affiliates. What are they saying? Are they on all the calls? Absolutely. Because they know they don't want to miss their, are they following up? Absolutely. Do they have certain things in their emails or their communication? Absolutely. So study winning communication, winning affiliate patterns, and find out for yourself what it takes. The Leverage AI application is growing quickly. The company is implementing a lot right now. We're in final design and testing. Again, you're watching this during the preview phase, right? We're about to get to pre-launch where the very first people in the world get to use it. You know, by the time we actually launch this, I mean, I don't know how many people we'll actually have, but I bet it will be 40,000, maybe 50,000. It's going to be a lot of people that are sitting around saying, hey, I'm really interested. How quickly do you think 50,000 people can tell a story if they were excited? They could go from 50,000 to 100 to 2, 3, 4, 500,000 relatively quickly. You want to be a part of that massive adoption, that awareness, that acceptance is going to be in the marketplace, and you're gonna love what the company has in store for you. PayPal is supported globally. We'll be able to pay people all over the world. Again, log into your back office, learn as much as you can. If you don't have your own personal page, once you sign up, you can go in and adjust your profile. You know, it's really important people go and adjust their profile. Make sure your address is correct, your email, your name, upload a picture, adjust your URL. You don't have to just use your number. You can make it say get Lev AI Texas City if you want to. You know, get, Lev AI if you want to, Blue Ocean. That doesn't really matter. Pick up Word or something that's simple to explain, and you can customize it already. And then very, very soon, you'll be able to customize your banking so we can pay you, which is always fun. The future is in your hands. Accessible AI is here. Lev AI is extraordinary opportunity for you to take advantage of. In a couple of years, millions and millions and millions of people will be a part of Lev AI. And the only question and comment you're going to say to yourself is you're either going to say, I'm glad I did, or I wish I would have. You're going to say, I'm glad I looked at this and said yes prior to the launch in September of 2025. I'm glad I did, man. I didn't miss out. It's incredible. The world changed. You don't want to find yourself saying, I wish I would have. I wish I would have invested in internet stocks in the early 2000s. I wish I would have invested in cryptocurrency, in 2015, 2017, 2018. I wish I would have. Don't find yourself saying, I wish I was part of the AI revolution when nothing has ever been more clear. When the entire planet is about to adopt AI the same way it adopted cell phones. It's just coming. The only question is, how big of the piece of the pie do you want? It's my privilege to share with you our story, the LEV AI story. The person that brought you to this story today is proud of you. They're excited to work with you, and they're looking for growing with you around the planet in all different languages. That's what's so cool. And we're going to be doing more of these. I know tonight we're going to have a presentation at 9 o'clock like we always do. And don't miss out. Don't show up alone. Bring back a bunch of candidates, a bunch of guests, and remind your team that we're just getting started. The best is yet to come. So, good day, everybody, and God bless. We'll get this recording out as soon as we can and make it available. All right? Take care. Bye bye.